Hello, me again. I thought I'd do a little bit more on the horn bracket. Just come back off a week's holiday. Not a particularly great weekend here, so I thought it was time to get back in the shop and have another go. What I did, or what I have done since last time, was I did we've got the block machined, and now I needed to make the bracket. And what I did was I just went in on and drew the bracket components up on AutoCAD, and then I shipped them off to a local place and with the CAD file, and they just laser the components out of a piece of sheet. So what I've done is this component here is 2mm thick, and this one is 3mm. So this is the main stand. They laser the holes, and they get these holes to within 0.1 of tolerance. So it's more than good enough. So I had 4 cut just in case, just to give me some backup. So what I did yesterday was I actually set 2 and made the components, and what I've got to do now is weld them up. So this one here, all I had to do was just had to open the hole out a little bit on that. It wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. And then this one here, I countersunk the holes to take a couple of 6mm countersunks, so that when it goes onto the bracket it's pretty well flush at the front there, because I haven't got a lot of, there doesn't seem to be a lot of clearance between this and the radiator cowl on the bike. So these are done now. What I need to do now is set these up on a block. So that's actually going to sort of be like this, and I'll run a small TIG weld down here. So what I'll do is I'm going to set these up on a block, to hold them and act as a bit of a heat sink, and then I'll run a small weld down there and see where that goes. I'll bring you back later. Right. One of the things I struggle with from time to time is welding, and that hasn't gone at all well. So I've got a couple of theories, but I don't know whether you can see the weld here isn't really as pretty as I wanted it to be, and then I tried to just put a weld in the back and it's burnt through at the front. So I made a bit of a bloody mess of it, in all honesty. So I made another one. This one went a lot better, and I think one of the things, I hadn't got enough gas shield on, so I upped my gas shield a little bit, which I think has given me a cleaner weld, and I've just put a little tack in the back just to give it a bit of extra support. So I'm quite happy with this one. Just needs finishing off, just needs a bit of final polishing there. I think I'm going to put a radius on this section here to mirror the radius there. So I'll carry on getting that finished and bring you back in, and we're almost there. What I did do, whilst I'd got this one before I made this one, I actually set it up on the bike with the hooter on, just to make sure that the dimensions on that were fine. It's okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'll throw that in the bin, but I'll finish this one off, get it all polished up. I am going to spray all of this black to try and make it sort of disappear a little bit on the bike, but I'll get that finished off and I'll come back to you in a little while. Right, okay, as you can see, I've been busy. I've sprayed everything as I wanted it to be sprayed. It's been sprayed now for probably 3 days. I've left it just to harden off a little bit. As I said, I did radius this part of the bracket off to match this radius here. So really it's all ready for final assembly. What I did on this bracket here was just to put a piece of masking tape on each part, so that when I bolted it together, it just gave me a gap so that the spray didn't go over the joint. So I just need to scrape those off. So where you take a bit of the paint off if you're not careful, of course. I might just have to scrape around these two faces as well, because there would have been a bit of overspray in there. Okay. Yeah, so I'll probably just rub them on a piece of fine emery. Let's just have okay. Okay, so that's not bad. Quite happy with that. Right, what I'm going to do is put it all together. I sprayed the back of the horn as well, because this was a cadmium plated, I guess, or a galvanizing type finish on there. So for all of these components I've used an etching primer. So I just masked the hooter, the plastic part of it off, and the terminals, and I just gave it an etching primer coat, and then I've sprayed it. I've sprayed them all satin, because when I look at the bike, it's not really a full gloss, or it doesn't look to be a full gloss paint job, so I'm sort of trying to blend it in a little bit. So I'll get this all assembled together now. I'll put the connections on here and finish that off, and then really it's ready for getting fitting onto the bike. So I'll get this all put back together. I'll do the electrical stuff, and then I'll bring you back in. Right, okay, it's finished. I suppose I could have just blown those over with a bit of black, but at this moment in time you'll never see them once it's fitted. I've done the connections, cut the spade terminals, and then just finished off with a little bit of heat shrink to get it as close to the terminals as possible. And it's ready to fit to the bike, so I'm going to get that fitted, probably not today, but sometime over the next week. Get that on, get it finished, and once I've done that, I'll do another video of it fitted. So I'll catch you later.